Alfred Hitchcock is a cinematic master. He's a filmmaking beast. I recently watched Vertigo, Spellbound, and Notorious in rapid succession. And those movies were, in a word, spellbinding. You know, the way he's able to manipulate the camera and evoke certain emotional and psychological responses at just the right time. You can feel him puppeteering the entire cinematic experience for you. And so I was like, all right, I need to see the rest of his body of work. I need to experience the rest of his oeuvre. So I stumbled upon The Birds. I purposefully avoided the synopsis to have a novel, fresh experience. So I cannot wait to get into this movie. Thank you for watching. Nice to cross paths with you. Hey, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you want access to all of these videos early, plus some exclusive content, go ahead and moonwalk over to the Patreon. A special shout out goes out to my patrons who are keeping this boat afloat. They're keeping this channel buoyant, if you will. And I thoroughly appreciate it. 1963 film The Birds, coming at you. See you on the other side. Oh, already I see Alfred Hitchcock. It's always like a Where's Waldo kind of sporting events. Like, can you find Hitchcock cameos within his movies?
I guess maybe I'd better phone. They said 3 o'clock. Would you mind waiting?
The oral bird noises are permeating the scene.
I said, I wonder if you could help me.
That was a melodramatic pause.
Lovebird, sir?
Yes, I understand there are different varieties. These are for my sister for her birthday, you see, and I wouldn't want a pair of birds that were too demonstrative.
It's a high maintenance customer, if ever I've seen one.
Aren't those lovebirds?
No, those are redbirds.
So she's just masquerading as an employee for the romantic aspect of it.
Well, what about the lovebirds? All right, may I see it, please?
She's fully committed to this gambit, but the jig is about to be up surely any second now. Bar's the word.
There we are.
He's a regular bird wrangler.
Back in your gilded cage, Melanie Daniels.
How did you know my name?
A little birdie told me. Good day, Miss Dan.
Wordplay, am I right?
I don't know you. We never met in court or any place
That's true.
else.
I'll rephrase it. I saw you in court. Don't you remember one of your practical jokes that resulted in the smashing of a plate glass window?
She's been up to some hijinks.
Well, you knew I didn't work here. You deliberately...
Right. I recognized you when I came in.
I think you're a louse.
A louse. Now that's a word you don't hear every day. There's a certain way that Hitchcock moves the camera that is uniquely him. A lot of people take issue with the auteur theory, but the way the camera cuts, you can tell that Hitchcock was behind it. This is Hitchcock's brainchild.
Would you call the Department of Motor Vehicles for me? Find out who owns this license plate. WJH003.
What are you going to do, surveil this guy? Because he was being as deceptive as you were?
Do you have any lovebirds?
No, not in the shop, but I can order them for you.
That would be just fine.
Okay, so the writer of this story heard the word lovebird, and this conjured up this whole narrative idea, it looks like. The possibility of the etymology of the word lovebird.
He's not home. He won't be back until Monday. I mean, if those birds are for him.
Where did he go?
Bodega Bay. He goes there every weekend.
Sure is giving a lot of information to a stranger. Is that a matte painting? So she just tracked this guy down with one flick of the wrist.
I'm looking for a man named Mitchell Brenner. Where does he live?
Right here, Bodega Bay. Right across the bay there.
She's been mad inquisitive. And these people are just offering up his address. Where's the privacy?
The little girl's name.
Alice, I think. Harry, what's the little Brenner girl's name?
Lois?
Alice, ain't it?
No, it's Lois.
Some disembodied voice.
Well, I need her exact name, you see.
In that case, I'll tell you what you do. Near the top of the hill, you'll see the school, and just beyond a little house with a red mailbox. That's where Annie Hayworth, the school teacher, lives.
She's going to great lengths. The intrigue is building in me because I am stumped to try to arrive at a plan of hers.
The little Brenner girl.
Kathy?
The one who lives in the White House across the bay?
Yes, that's the one, Kathy Brenner.
You seemed sure it was either Alice or Lois.
Which is why the mail never gets delivered to the right place in this town. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, uninformed during rain, sleet, or snow.
Are you a friend of Mitch's?
No, not really.
Look at that camera work during a pivotal aspect of the plot.
Oh, then you're leaving after you see Kathy.
Well, something like that. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound so mysterious.
Actually, it's none of my business.
I beg to differ. I think you're being clandestine on purpose.
Is that where you met Mitch?
Yes.
I guess that's where everyone meets Mitch.
Now, you sound a bit mysterious.
Mitch has a certain reputation, I'm gathering.
Actually, I'm an open book, I'm afraid. Or rather, a closed one.
Those two concepts are diametrically opposed.
Go right around. It'll take you back to the main road.
Thank you.
That school teacher has such a look on her face that's conveying, oh, I've been where you are before, and I'm not even going to warn you of the dangers.
Do you have a vote for Miss Daniels?
Yes, ma'am.
Just get on a boat in a fur coat and some birds. Like, what conclusion can you draw if you're a bystander in this situation? This movie is conveying a lot visually. There's more visual language than actual language that's transpiring right now. And it's stimulating. Yeah, sure. Just let yourself in, Miss Daniels. Make yourself at home. The audacity she's showing right now. All right. That was a cinematic flourish. You brought the note out just to tear it up. All right, it's kind of like a romantic hit and run. You left the gift and a note. And now you're going to skedaddle back across the waters. Sight unseen. Immaculate timing. Immaculate timing. Yeah. All right, lady. I think your cover is blown by now. Well, that plan worked like gangbusters. Oh. Territorial birds. It drew blood? That was intense.
Do that.
That's the damnedest thing I ever saw. I don't know. It seemed to swoop down at you deliberately. Oh, you're bleeding, too. Let's take care of that.
The bird shat all over your plan to romantically woo this guy.
Might need a tetanus shot.
I had a booster before I went abroad last May.
Last May was a long time ago. You freshly got clawed by a seagull.
What happened? Oh, dear. Young lady cut herself. Shall I call a doctor? Oh, I don't think it's that serious. Let's see.
Might need a tetanus shot, but you don't need a doctor.
So you're a lawyer.
That's right.
Oh, look at that beautiful Dutch angle that conveys a sense of uneasiness.
Oh, you mean you came all this way to bring me those birds?
To bring your sister those birds. She said it was her birthday. Besides, I was coming up anyway. To see a friend of mine.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe. Yeah, that seagull definitely targeted her. Unless that seagull thought her hair was a nest. In which case, it's justified, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was. I don't think it was.
You really like me, huh?
I loathe you. I can't say I like your seagulls much either. I come all the way up here to...
But you were coming up anyway, remember?
Your story is starting to crumble.
What are you doing in town?
I had to acknowledge a delivery. Mother, I'd like you to meet Melanie Daniels. Miss Daniels, my mother.
All right. Meeting the moms already. On a first date. That escalated quickly.
As a matter of fact, Miss Daniels is staying up here for the weekend, so I've already invited her for dinner tonight.
Oh, I couldn't possibly.
You did say birds.
Yes, lovebirds.
This mother's not having this. This mother's not a fan of this situation at all.
7 o'clock, the same as usual.
I'll pick you up. Where are you staying?
With Annie, of course.
Oh, of course. How stupid of me.
You don't think they're gonna fact check your story?
We will be waiting for you. How's your head?
Oh, much better, thank you. A gull hit me, Mrs. Brenner, that's all.
Mrs. Brenner is outrageously suspicious right now.
You suppose I could have the room for just a single night?
Well, all right.
You see, I hadn't planned on staying very long.
Did something unexpected come up?
What was she alluding to? She has a knowing look on her face, asking something unexpected come up. I'm trying to tap into the thematic significance of that. Birds of a feather flock together. 2 birds, 1 bush. I don't know.
Whose side are you on?
Really quoting the law, dear.
Never mind the law.
Whose side are you on? Why is she so hostile, dude? I need answers.
The chicken feed. Well, it's just no good. The chickens won't eat it. No, they're not fussy chickens.
They're little spoiled brats of chickens.
You don't think there's something going around, do you? He had a call from Grand Fawcett a while ago. His chickens won't eat either.
There's some in the air.
Mitch knows a lot of people in San Francisco. Of course, they're mostly hoods. Well,
They're mostly ruffians.
In a democracy, Kathy, everyone is entitled to a fair trial.
I know all that democracy jazz. They're still hoods.
That democracy jazz.
He has a client now who shot his wife in the head 6 times. 6 times! Can you imagine it? I mean, even twice would be overdoing it. Don't you think?
Twice is reasonable. 6 is excessive to this little girl's framework.
Don't you like Bodega Bay?
I don't know yet.
He says San Francisco's like an anthill at the foot of a bridge.
That's a vivid way to describe San Fran.
How long have you known her?
Now, I told you, dear, we met yesterday.
She was selling birds.
Oh, no. I just led her into believing that I believe she was. Well, it's all very complicated.
Yeah, you can say that again.
The father's part owner of one of the big newspapers in San Francisco.
I think he could manage to keep her name out of print. She's always mentioned in the columns, Mitch.
Yes, I know.
So one could say she's notorious.
Interested, I was pushed into that fountain.
Without any clothes on.
With all my clothes on. The newspaper that ran that story happens to be a rival of my father's paper.
You're just a poor, innocent victim of circumstances, huh?
Well, I'm neither poor nor innocent, but
She's a political football.
What about the letter you wrote me? Is that a lie, too?
it said, Dear Mr. Brenner, I think you need these lovebirds after all. They may help your personality. That's what it said.
Pew, pew. Shots fired. Much. That's an ominous image of those birds on the power lines, because these birds have a line of power in this movie, have a lot of sway.
How did you happen to come up here?
Look, I see no reason for being coy about this. It was Mitch Brenner. I guess you knew that anyway. It's been over and done with a long time ago.
You kind of buried the lead. You could have told her this from the jump.
You know, her attitude nearly drove me crazy. When I got back to San Francisco, I spent days trying to figure out exactly what I'd done to displease her.
What had you done?
Nothing.
The mother plays mind games, the domineering mother. What Alfred Hitchcock got against moms?
Why did she object to you?
Because she was afraid. Afraid of any woman who would give Mitch the one thing Lydia can give him. Love.
That adds up to a jealous, possessive woman.
Oh, it's a little imperious and gross for a mother to have that perception of her kid.
And what are you doing here in Bodega Bay?
I wanted to be near Mitch. Oh, it was over and done with, and I knew it, but I still wanted to be near him. You see, I still like him a hell of a lot.
You still like him, so you stayed around to be a school teacher just to be in the vicinity of his life. Mitch Brenner has mad appeal.
Then go.
Thank you, Annie.
I can't shake the feeling that Annie is being withholding by not revealing something so monumental to her, but she's so racked with jealousy.
Poor thing. Probably lost his way in the dark.
But it isn't dark, Annie.
What?
There's a full moon.
That seagull just went kamikaze on that door. That coupled with her getting scratched on that boat by a seagull. There's some intentionality behind this. So this movie is posing hella questions right now. Posing hella questions that the audience, me, wants so desperately to be answered. Post haste.
Well, I have to get to work tomorrow morning, for one thing.
You have a job?
I have several jobs.
What do you do?
Different things on different days.
Like what?
She's a Jill of all trade.
There you go.
She's scheming. There's no way she's gonna let this relationship fly without her doing something about it. And I have a feeling that she and the mother are in cahoots.
Loud.
Damn. These are some vicious birds. These birds are going buck wild.
Is anyone hurt?
Well, Jenny got a scratch down her cheek, but it's nothing.
I made 3 times.
Yes, I'm counting right along with you. What they got against Melanie Daniel?
Say, have something to eat before you start back, huh? I'd feel a lot better.
Oh man, look at that sympathetic camera work, drawing the viewer in to commiserate with these little girls who just got victimized by the seagulls.
Mitch.
These birds are inescapable. What are they being drawn to?
Do you have a light burning or something? Because sometimes birds are attracted by light, you know.
Well, all right, but we've got to do something about it.
I don't think I get you, Mitch. You
Right, you call the cops, but you'll get the bird division to come in.
They came in right down the chimney.
Tell him about the party.
That's right. We had a party here this afternoon for Kathy for her birthday.
For her birthday.
I mean, birds just don't go around attacking people without no reason. You know what I mean? Kid's probably scared them, that's all.
This cop just comes in victim blaming. The temerity.
Good morning, George. Is Mr. Fawcett around?
I think so, ma'am.
What are you up to, Mom? Huh? Aside from trying to devise a strategy to keep all the women out of her son's life. That's a good piece of filmmaking right here. It communicates a lot of information with just one rapid pushing of the camera to the broken glass that are still hung up. Whoa. Oh man, this is captivating. What is that? Oh God, that's chilling. That is a chilling shot. And so these birds are able to wreak that kind of havoc and mayhem. Well, you can't call the cops, can you? Because we just saw the cops' mentality towards these birds. Gonna go in and blame the dead guy. Well, what did he do to provoke these birds? So it's the first time we've seen a romantic connection between them in the physical sense. It's all been hinted at and subtle, but now it's just explicit. No. We're together and we're gonna make it through this.
Do you think Kathy's all right at the school? And they have such big windows at the school.
Try not to think about that.
This makes me wonder, was that scene in Hereditary inspired by this movie? You know, when Charlie's in the classroom and a bird hits the window?
I'm not like this, you know, not usually. I don't fuss and fret about my children.
She's looking like, you sure about that?
When Frank died, you see, he understood the children. He really understood them. He had the knack of entering into their world, of becoming part of them. That's a very rare talent.
But yeah, it's an ideal quality to have as a parent in general. Fear of abandonment. Now that her husband's died, she views her son Mitch as the only way to have connection in this world. So she's a complete monster to every woman that enters into his life.
Do you think she's all right at the school?
Would you like me to go for her?
Would you? I feel so much better.
I mean, yeah, she seems to be in harm's way. I don't know if being at home is going to make a safer environment, but...
Ristlety, rustlety, now, 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 with every stroke she
Banger. She said, no, wait till this chorus is finished, all right? Can't you see we're harmonizing? Get out of here. The omnipresent bird. Hey, somebody's about to get smoked. Either you or the bird. The birds are having more and more influence as each minute of this movie passes by. Oh, this is giving me some disquiet. The birds on the playground, her sitting her back to her, oblivious, and the children singing this eerie song now that it goes on. I don't know the origins of it or even the lyrics, but oh shit, this scene is enchanting. It can't just be a coincidence, right? I literally have goosebumps right now. I don't know why that vivid imagery rubs me the wrong way in this fashion, but it does. She goes back in like, nope. Time is of the essence. This is a pressing matter.
Till I tell you to run. Then run as quickly as you can. Now, does everybody understand?
I am worried for these kids, man. Because these birds seem to have a vendetta against the human population. This is a spectacular building of tension. Oh my God. This is hellish. This is a hellish approach to take with birds. Who would have thought that birds can be so fear-inducing? I guess they're like ants because, you know, the theory goes if ants all group together and were able to coordinate an attack, we would be screwed. We would be up the creek without a paddle. So, they're getting brutalized by a murder of crows.
Is there a difference between crows and blackbirds?
There is very definitely a difference.
Thank you.
She dropped the truth bomb and walked away.
Serious. I hardly think that either species would have sufficient intelligence to launch a massed attack. Their brain pans are not big enough.
All right. You're underestimating these birds. The age-old tale of man versus nature. What level of sentience does a bird have?
You don't seem to understand. This young lady said there was an attack on the school.
It's the end of the world.
Oh, it's the apocalypse.
Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink.
Yes, all
It's
right.
the end
I'll
of the
wait
world.
No. Rest assured, it's the end of the world.
Could you ask them to lower their voices, please? They're frightening the children.
And well, he's scaring me, too.
At least you're being honest.
What do you think they were after?
I think they were after the children.
For what purpose?
To kill them.
Why?
I don't know why.
It's the $1,000 question.
Crows, swifts.
I have never known birds of different species to flock together. The very concept is unimaginable. Why, if that happened, we wouldn't have a chance.
It's a nightmarish thought to have if all the birds were somehow to act in unison. It's giving me the howling phantage just thinking about it. This is a quirky scene. Different perspectives of a bird attack. And whether it's a credible threat or not.
What do you want to do? Mrs. Bundy said something about Santa Cruz. About seagulls getting...
All right. Immaculate timing. This is inducing a sense of dread about every bird you see. Uh-oh. It's a snowball effect. Where is that trail of gasoline headed? Oh. The cynic is done. And that is a bird-related death. This is marvelous editing. That sequence there was a marvelous piece of editing with the pace of the cuts and also the angle, the distance at which the people were seeing the fire, and this overhead shot is really awe-inspiring, especially when you consider this was 1963. They could be seen as spectating their work from afar. Like, look what we've done. Look at the chaos we created. The birds are having a point of view. Bird's eye view. And it's a nice little reversal on the theme from the beginning. Talking about keeping the bird in the cage. Now she's on the other end of that dynamic. She's in this telephone box that's operating as a cage. This is bedlam. This is a very, oh my God. This guy's being decimated. And if that's not a targeted attack, I don't know what is. It's a little eerie respite from the danger that lurks outside, the minefield of birds.
Why are they doing this? They said when you got here the whole thing started. I think you're the cause of all this. I think you're evil. Evil!
Slap some sense into her because she's looking at her like she's the Antichrist. Melanie Daniels is a magnet for bird animosity. For what purpose? I'm fascinated by this movie because I can't put an intellectual finger on the proceedings. And they just posted up like get in their battle positions. The birds are diabolical. No, that's not. Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Oh, no. You've been struck by some mean birds, you did. It's a terrible turn of events. This is a troubling feeling this movie is eliciting.
We heard the explosion and went outside to see what it was. All at once, the birds were everywhere.
And a catastrophe ensued.
About 15 minutes. Seems like a pattern, doesn't it?
Some kind of a system developing.
Can I bring the lovebirds in here?
No!
But, Mom, they're in a cage.
They're birds, aren't they?
I mean, technically, yeah, but they're lovebirds. Are they gonna transition to toxic lovebirds? That's a heartbreaking image. The powerlessness that's radiating from these four in this scene. Oh, golly, wring that seagull's neck. Oh, these birds are fierce. What do y'all want? Let's negotiate. Let's parlay with these birds somehow. This is a stunning level of cinematic creation. Just that one shot right there, the pullback from all the characters, kind of a low angle, which kind of restores power to them, even amidst all of this struggle. All right, she's being adventurous with this flashlight. And the two little birds, feathers unruffled. No soundtrack needed for this scene. A beautiful sense of uneasiness that I'm feeling. That only cinema can provide this level of tension with the visual and audio landscape. Oh, you asked for it. That's wicked. These birds are wicked. And she's sustaining mass damage right now. This is unpleasant. This is an unpleasant turn of events.
Melanie?
But what would compel her to go up there? Okay, she's stirring.
No.
She's bugging now. She's bugging. Or birding.
We've got to get her to a hospital.
Can't, Mitch. There's no place we can go.
San Francisco.
Oh, what could occur?
See if you can get anything on the car radio.
That is an at once majestic and startling scene. The birds are in control of this environment, striking fear into the hearts of every human. For what purpose? I don't know. They're not attacking him. Do they perceive him as a friend and not a foe? All right, we'll let you walk here, but don't you dare touch this guardrail here. This is an effective amount of suspense.
Some discussion as to whether the military should go in. It appears that the bird attacks come in waves with long intervals between. The reason for this does not seem clear as yet.
The impetus, the motivation behind these instances of bird violence is muddied. It's unclear. It's incoherent to me. That's incredible. That's an incredible piece of cinema. What this movie is doing to my brain right now is glorious. Okay, there's a lull. There's a lull in these bird attacks, but for how long? What are they waiting for? What are these birds thinking, dude? Oh, this is such a mind. She's in a catatonic state.
Did you hear anything on the radio?
It's all right. Come on.
She looks like Owen Wilson's character in Darjeeling Limited. That's a pristine piece of cinema. Maybe they're like, all right, we'll let y'all live as long as you get her out of here. Look at that awe-inspiring shot right there. They're leaving hell, going to heaven. And heaven in this case is San Francisco, and hell was Bodega Bay. Well, Bob is your uncle. That was the 1963 picture, The Birds. And this movie is enigmatic. It's mystifying me. I am in a state of mystification because this movie poses more questions than it answers. Even by the last shot of them driving off into the distance to try to go seek help for Melanie, I am left in a stupefied state because I can't find an angle of approach to interpret this movie. This movie has blanketed me in a sense of uneasiness and discomfort in a very uncommon and innovative source. Birds. Because it's like that whole train of thought about ants. If ants could band together and pool all of their resources and their strength, which is allegedly up to 100 times their own body weight, we would be in dire straits if ants decided, hey, we're sick of these humans, we're sick of their shit, let's get them. We'd be done for. Same with, I guess, with any species, really. And I think that's what this movie is tapping into. It forces one to think about our relationship with nature and animals and how elusive and tenuous the relationship is. Because if we can go to the zoo. We can see your lions and tigers and bears tucked safely and neatly behind a bulletproof and reinforced glass or a cage. But if we saw that same animal when we were walking to get our mail down our driveway in the mailbox, we would, needless to say, need a change of pants. So, and the symbolism, I'm going to be thinking about this movie a lot, I think, because there's some symbolism and some figurative language that was expressed here that is operating subconsciously for me right now. And I'm going to bring it to the fore. because I like that about Alfred Hitchcock's Notorious as well. I don't know if you've seen Notorious, but it's a good film, because there is a lot of weaving of a narrative and putting pieces of the pie together, if you will, and the ingredients are revealed to you in such increments that each time you are enjoying one bite, you're desiring a taste for more. And that's what happened with this movie. Like, at the beginning, we meet her. She's in a bird store trying to get a bird for her aunt or some shit. And then the guy comes in trying to get a love bird. She poses as an employee there, even though she's not, just for romantic interest. And so he reveals his deception, goes out of the store. She tracks him down and follows him to a secluded area, his hometown, and basically positions herself into this family. And every second that passes in this movie is more sinister in nature. Because on the surface of it, it's just a love story, right? Guy and a girl have a meet cute, and the girl tracks the guy down. There's a push and a pull. There's family tension that threatens to disrupt their ability to get together. Sure, all that on the surface. We've seen that, but that's on the surface. But when you add in the horror element, the thriller element of the birds being inexplicably dangerous and violent towards humans, that makes your brain prick up in receptivity to wonder and amazement and curiosity and intrigue. So this movie was it was something to behold. I'm gonna have to watch this movie again. I'm not gonna read the think pieces because I like to really dive and tap into a story from my own perspective before it gets inundated with theories and points of views and analyses outside of my own. But I probably will read Roger Ebert's, because Roger Ebert's brain, when it comes to movie criticism, it's stupendous. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing to read a Roger Ebert movie review. So I did not see Annie dying. Annie, are you okay? No, Annie was not okay in the end. She moved up there just to be with Mitchell, or what was his name? Mitch. She moved up there just to be with Mitch, and that became her undoing. She wanted to stay in the vicinity of this guy she's still in love with, who doesn't want her. But maybe there's a cautionary tale to be interpreted in there. I don't know. The scene that was so mesmerizing for me in this movie was when Melanie went up to the school to get Kathy out, and they were singing the chorus, and the chorus became the backdrop of the scene of her sitting on that bench smoking a cigarette to wait for Kathy to get done with this class so she could take her home, because the mother was feeling unsafe. And the exceptional piece of filmmaking that was the camera being close to Melanie smoking the cigarette, her looking towards her school, the bird starting to appear on the playground in the background, then Melanie not noticing, and then it's starting to build in an increasingly suspenseful way, and then Melanie picking up to the danger afoot. And then we pull back to see just a multitude of birds almost posturing in the background over her shoulder. She realizes it and goes in to try to save the kids, but eventually leads them straight into peril. And the main question I have for this movie is, what is it about Melanie Daniels' character? What is it about her aura, the vibe she gives off, that causes such an antagonism in these birds? I'm going to have to chew on it, because right now I have more questions than answers. But all right. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for experiencing this with me. Like this video. Hit subscribe if you have not already. And tell me your favorite Hitchcock movie. For me, I think my favorite Hitchcock movie is... I like Spellbound. I mean, I had a hell of an experience watching Spellbound. So for right now, until I can, think critically about the rest of his movies that I've seen, I'm going to have to go with Spellbound. So let me know your favorite Hitchcock movie and what movie you think I should watch. Because I haven't seen all of his oeuvre. I've seen, off the top of my head, Vertigo, Spellbound, Notorious, now this. M is for Murder, The Man Who Knew Too Much, and The 37 Steps, or... maybe I'm getting the title wrong. I don't know. But just let me know another Hitchcock movie that you recommend me see. And if you like these videos that we're putting up and you want to show me some support, go ahead and saunter over to the Patreon, Mr. Valentine Reacts. You can get all of these videos early and access to exclusive content. I'm gonna be doing some exclusive movie reviews over there and some extended versions of reactions. So if that tickles your fancy, go ahead and support your boy. And as always, till we meet again.